Tier podcast. The broadband has returned. The show has returned. It's Thursday Tier Talk. We're back in the house here. We've got a quality show. You can tell my excitement. Lots going on at the moment, so we're
We
really
know
looking
why
forward to
you're
this show.
excited. Don't be gloating. It's because I'm going to Wrestlemania in the morning. Uh, Yeah, shut
It's
up,
what
right?
we do, Darren. It's what we do. It's what we
Sure
do.
is.
Anyway, we've got a great show for you tonight. A little sort of uh, upsetting information that has come through as well. We'll talk about that though. We do want to give you the details of our prediction contest that we're running as well. We're going to be talking about the semi-final makeup of the Champions League. We're going to be talking about the Premier League, of course, and we're going to have a decent part of the show dedicated to Darren McCumminsky's WrestleMania 42 preview stroke prediction, I would call it. So a little bit of fun because you don't get wrestling off Darren too often. So tonight is a
Not
special night. We
because
said
not
we do.
because Darren doesn't like wrestling or doesn't want to have in on it. Just because Darren's availability, and quite busy at the moment, and you know
100%.
yourself. And that's all it is.
As we do. Big Phil in the comments there. Yeah, Big Phil, good man. Hope you're good, pal.
Phil's a good lad. I like Phil, you know that. I like Phil. He's one of the
Absolutely.
good ones.
He's one of the regular OGs, as we call them.
Phil knows a baddie when he spots one, right? Right, Phil, like that Katy Perry. Not having her, Phil, you know. If you know, Phil, right?
There we go.
100%.
There we go. Right, anyway, news reached us today, of course. Make sure you subscribe, folks. Hit the bell notification button, drop a like in the video, all the usual good stuff as well. Alex Manninger sadly passed away just today, I believe. 48 stroke 49 years of age. Very, very sad. Thoughts?
Tremendously sad. I suppose if we think back to the first time we came across Alex Manninger, it was obviously at Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think David Seaman had gotten injured. And there was a bit of a title run in to be had, and Arsenal were panicking and stuff like that. And in came
as they do.
Yeah. And in came this kind of blonde-haired, blue-eyed Austrian kid. There you are, Phil. And you know, you kind of thought, how's he going to get through this? There's a lot of pressure for a kid. And I remember it so clearly. He literally turned into prime Peter Schmeichel for about 8 games. He was but I think they have a highlight reel. And I remember it so well because he wore an orange goalkeeper's jersey quite a lot for Arsenal. Right, and it had the logo on it and whatever. But it was like a bright orange colour. And he was just unbelievable. To the point where we went, what are we seeing here? Like, this is possibly some of the best stuff we've seen. If you look back on those games, he was outstanding and probably won Arsenal a league title almost single-handedly. You know, in those last 8 games, he was phenomenal. And just such a sad end to things and stuff like that. Obviously, he had moved on from Arsenal and, you know, didn't quite live up to the first 8 or 10 games he played for Arsenal and stuff like that and whatever. But obviously a really solid sort of a keeper, and you know, I'm sure Arsenal fans have amazing memories of what he did for them at the end of that season and stuff like that. And just tremendously sad the way it looks like he's gone as well, you know. And
yeah,
it's so often happens and that it's a goalkeeper. And if you look at like how many times we've seen, not maybe identical to this, but these sort of scenarios and situations and stuff.
Yeah.
It's goalkeepers. And like most people would kind of admit, you've got to be a different sort of guy to be a goalkeeper anyway.
100%.
You know, you've got to be a different kind of guy. You got to enjoy certain things that others don't enjoy, and you know, and it's difficult and stuff like that. But so very, very sad to see what's happened to him, and you know, thoughts and prayers with his family and stuff like that, and his friends and the wider football community.
Absolutely. And obviously with the week that's in it as well, obviously a very difficult week for Liverpool Football Club. Of course, it's the Hillsborough disaster. And our thoughts and prayers are always with the 97 who sadly lost their lives and the families and everything else. And we often think back to the struggles and everything they went through and how they were treated and all absolutely awful for years and years and years and stuff like that. And also
You know,
our thoughts.
sometimes it takes a long time for the truth to come out,
Yeah, it
but it
does.
always gets there eventually. And I thank God that the truth came out for those families at Liverpool.
Mm.
I really, really do.
Yeah, absolutely. So as always, Bren's in as well. Yeah, he was brilliant, Phil, at Old
He
Trafford.
was.
1-0.
He
How
was
is lads? Very
outrageous.
sad news. Prayers to him and his family. Absolutely, Bren. Right. Just want to mention this. This is a contest we're running at the moment, a WrestleMania prediction contest. So you can contact us in a number of ways if you want to drop us your predictions for night 1 and night 2. You can hit us up by DM on at Wrestlemania Dublin on Instagram, or if you want, you can email us directly at the upper tier podcast at gmail.com. Those who get the predictions right will receive. The winner will receive a t-shirt of his choice from Wrestlemania. If you can't make it in, we'll get it posted out. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. And a big thank you
Now,
to
here's the
Bren
only
and the boys
question
who
I would
put together
ask,
the
yeah?
graphic. Yeah.
Will you have one big enough in my size?
Baby, I'm about to fly out to the land of milk and honey, where your size is standard where I'm going. Your size is medium where I'm going. You should know that. You see just from that garden buffet last year. You know, and you know. Absolutely. Big up,
Oh,
Phil. Yeah.
God.
No one's there to die. We'll go to a football match 100%. 100%. So there you go, folks. That's all the detail there on the screen. It's also on Brent's TikTok and it's also on our YouTube channel as well. There's a short up there as well. No excuse not to enter. Shirt of your choice. What more would you want? Having a bit of crack WrestleMania night. Right. Let's talk semi-finals. Thoughts?
Yeah, listen, I think if you look at how some of the teams done it in comparison, it's a bit upsetting to think that what should have been the final is one half of the two semi-finals, because I think PSG and Bayern are the two best teams in this by a long chalk. And I think Arsenal and Atletico played against Barcelona with 10 men for over a full game and just about nipped them off. And Arsenal obviously putting in a snooze fest over two legs against Sporting. I thought they were so poor. Like last night at home, quarterfinal of the Champions League, you've gone away and nicked a 1-0. Like, it's set up for you to go and absolutely blow these lads out of the water. And I just looked at it and went, what the fuck am I watching? Like, this absolute dribble. Like, dribble. Just
Would Sunday be a distraction? And I know we're going to get into it. Big game. Massive game.
Should be.
Massive
but listen,
game.
Here's the thing. I'm also not naive enough to they are Captain Caramel. I'm also not naive enough to say, if I'm an Arsenal fan, like, I've always on the Premier League, because here's the thing, Arsenal could absolutely win this trophy. They could absolutely, and Arsenal don't make it to the semi-finals of the Champions League very often, so I don't know why you'd be overlooking it to look at Man City at the weekend.
I don't mean intentionally. I think maybe the players might have looked at Sporting and said, look, and maybe they're just being a little bit more careful than usual in terms of getting the Sunday or something like that.
Could they actually be any more careful? Let's be honest now.
But you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Is that and then the problem is, if you play that way, then do you go into Sunday with a similar mentality and body mechanic and all, and you fall on your sword then,
I think Sunday's a tough game for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I really think it's a tough game, because I think City are starting to get this thing rolling. They obviously put them to the sword in the Carabao Cup final. City win on Sunday, it's 3 points and they have a game in hand. And they are like a fire-breathing dragon on the back of Arsenal's neck. And I still think Arsenal have another trip up in them, which is,
And bar
crazy.
the FA Cup, but City only one game a week now. They don't have to play Champions League.
Yeah,
So they'll be
that's
fully
right.
focused.
And look,
Imagine we could look at this season if you went back 3-4 weeks ago. We're looking at this season where potentially, and I'm not saying it will happen, Arsenal could win nothing and City could do a domestic treble.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very
Isn't
much
that
on the
mental?
cards,
Yeah.
Very much on the cards. And we got to give a little bit of credit to Pep. We got to give a little bit of credit to Pep. They've spent money, but I think now stuff is starting to land. Stuff that wasn't landing or hadn't landed initially. I think Donnarumma's been a good sign, and I think over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks we've really started to see the best of Gahey in a City jersey. I think the boy Cherky has started to find a role.
Amazing.
I think Semenyo's been excellent. Haaland's finding a bit of form. So
Doku. that link up Doku and Nick O'Reilly. Incredible.
Nick O'Reilly, excellent. And even like Matheus Nunes is a right back. He's done well. And initially you looked and went, Nunes, square peg round hole, won't work. And he persisted. Now, do I expect him to go and blow 50 or 60 million on Tino Livramento in the summer? Absolutely. But I think for now, so I think for now he'll they'll do what they do and they'll get through it with Nunes and really good, really, really good.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, just looking also the news of Bernardo Silva today, obviously he'll want to go out on a high as well. So they'll be very motivated in that point of view as well, So, Daz, I think Bayern have a better team than Arsenal, saying Muglise and Diaz are amazing. Same with Kane.
Unquestionable.
They will destroy Arsenal.
They will, but here's the problem. Like, PSG have to now play Bayern. And I don't think we could say for right or for wrong who's going to win that. I think that's the toss of a coin. Now, do I believe whoever wins it, PSG or Bayern, will win the whole shoot match? I do. I think the winner will come from the first semi-final, shall we say, from PSG and Bayern. Don't be surprised if PSG go and retain this. But if Bayern manage to get over them, over the two legs, Bayern will be Atletico or Arsenal final. 100%. Bayern are a much better team.
I think apart from Arsenal in the league phase, which were exceptional, they had a great league phase.
Would you like a hot take?
Go on.
Michael Olise is the footballer all Arsenal fans talk about Bukayo Saka being.
And that's coming from a guy, by the way, folks, who's actually a Bukayo Saka fan.
A very big Bukayo Saka fan. But what I will tell you is the boy Olise is a baller. He's an absolute baller. And I'm also going to give myself a little bit of a tip of the cap here as well, because don't forget, I was a big defender of one Vincent Kompany when he was at Burnley and they were getting smashed and he was getting relegated. And I was like, this lad's going to go somewhere and he's going to do something. He got a Bayern job and everyone, no, he'll be gone by Christmas. And I went, I bet he's not gone by Christmas. And he wasn't. And he started to pick up trophies and he has the juggernaut rolling. I will just be shocked, and I mean shocked, if he's not the next Man City boss. I will be. You'll be able to knock me down with a feather duster. It is set up for Bayern to go and win a Champions League, or at least compete the way they have been, win another German, maybe a DFB Pokal and stuff like that. And he's just waiting in the wings. And when Pep leaves the building, the door's open, and here comes Vincent the Great in the door to save the day on the back of the horse. And I just think it'll be a phenomenal fit. And I think as a United fan, it worries me. It worries me because he is an absolute winner. And if you've seen anything, if you've watched any of the Burnley stuff, if you've watched any behind the scenes stuff, like this lad has fire. He has fire in his belly. He will not accept anything below where he wants things to be. And like I absolutely love him, I have to say. I love him.
And of course, going into a City side that looked to be in a very good place as well with some of the signings they made and potentially more coming in. And, and on the back, if they do a domestic treble, what a time to take over from Pep, and just continue that ball rolling.
I think if they did the domestic treble, I think if a chance Pep might decide, I'll go now, thanks. All done.
Well,
Keep your
the thing,
115 charges to yourself. I'm okay.
the thing is, why go again? You know.
This is,
I mean,
you get
because the chances
opportunity.
of you doing a domestic treble the following year again is like, you know, go out when you're on a high kind of thing, you know. What's your prediction for the final and the winner?
I think it comes from the excuse me. I think it comes from the PSG and Bayern game. I think you could toss a coin. If I was going to stick my neck on the line, I say Bayern win the whole thing.
Yeah, I think so.
I
think Bayern this year have been electric.
They have.
Like
I think
they really.
very,
I know PSG and all are very good.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is don't count PSG out. I think they're a tremendous football team.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, oh yeah, but
I certainly know that.
Yeah, and like here's the thing: they obviously absorbed an awful lot of pressure against you guys, especially in the second game, and they had the likes of Marquinhos at the back, who was excellent on the night. He was so good. The experience levels and stuff like that. And then you get to a stage where you guys are out on your feet and it's just picking the bones. And you're looking at Doué, Kvaratskhelia, you know, Dembele, Bradley Barcola, and you're like, fucking rafts of these lads, you know, that can come in and do this. And then the midfield is just such a joke. Vitinha and Neves, and you're like, lads, what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah, and it's just the level of skill and technical ability and the football nous on such young shoulders. And you know, obviously winning is like, you know, so important to them as well, you know. So
and some nice moments from, I don't know whether you saw this, and it was from the home game in Paris. And you brought on the lad, is it not Awoniyi, but Trey? What's his name?
Trey Awoniyi.
He brought Trey Awoniyi on, and he'd go and do a warm down after the game, and he had asked Vitinha for his jersey.
Oh, and he came over to him. Yeah, he came over to him. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Lad came out and waited for him to finish his warm up to swap jerseys with him.
Yeah.
This is a guy that barely gets a kick at Liverpool, by the way, right?
And I seen him walking off topless in the flip flops, and like it probably wouldn't have been a warm night either at that stage. Like,
and you're just like, he didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
He did not have to do that. And you know, sometimes it costs nothing to be a good person, you know.
Absolutely not. And I seen Luis Enrique going over to the fans as well to sign stuff as well in Anfield the other night as well, which is really cool to see as well.
So, absolutely.
But yeah, so listen, I don't know.
I get the feeling Luis Enrique would fancy Liverpool more than most people would believe. I think Luis Enrique looks around there and goes, wow, look at this. Look at this on a Champions League night. Look at the history. Look at what they, you know, I think Luis Enrique looks at that and goes, I could do something here. Yeah. And I think sometimes somebody just gets it. You know, we talk about somebody just getting it. I think Luis Enrique gets Liverpool. I think down the line we might see that.
Interesting.
We might see Luis Enrique and
we wouldn't be too upset. I can tell you that much.
I bet you wouldn't, man. Yeah.
See the news coming out today about young Rio?
No.
That apparently Slot's okay with him going out on loan. He doesn't feel he's ready yet. And I'm thinking he's been one of the fucking shining lights this season. What the fuck are you talking about?
And he's going to send him out to get game time? Wow.
That's the talk. How about giving some fucking game time?
How about we send the fucking manager out to get game time? Or knowledge, you fucking plank.
How about the guy who's keeping them out of the team at the moment, who's fucking shit the bed all season? Maybe sit him down and give the other guy game time instead of sending him out on loan.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just another fucking man. It triggered me today. Triggered me.
We're gonna look for someone on the left side. Tell him he can come and have a few games for us at Old Trafford in the real stadium. Like, we're all right with that. That kid would be exciting, man. He could team up with his fucking tag team partner, Patrick Dorgu, the two boys on either side of the wing, running at you, he's like chasing shadows.
He's another one of those kids that when he picks up the ball, he gets you out of your seat a bit. You know what I mean? And they're few and far between. And you know, I think those kind of players are the kind of players that managers fear. unless you embrace that kind of thing and nurture it and all.
And you know
For
what the
slot,
thing
I think
is?
you're not doing what you're fucking told kind of thing, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but you know the thing is, from the fans' point of view, if you make this lad your poster boy, you get so much, you know, credit in the bank with the fans because you've
We'll be
got a
getting
kid like
heat.
that
We'll be
playing
getting
in your.
heat off this, I'll tell
Do you
you that
know?
much.
This is what I'm
He's
saying.
in no position to be sitting any fucking player down at the moment and sending them out on loan, let's be honest.
Christ.
There we go. Right, so we're going. What did we say? Bayern, are you going Bayern Arsenal in the final or Bayern Atleti?
I go Bayern Atleti. Don't think Arsenal make it to a final.
And then obviously Bayern. Bayern would have way too much for Atleti, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Unless it's shit house true, of course. Right, just before we go off onto the Premier League preview, folks, just to let you know, we've mentioned this before. Saturday, May the 16th. Fantastic match coming up. QR code there for the tickets. It's on Eventbrite. We've got a meet and greet, got a match, got a gala dinner, everything. You will not get a better Premiership lineup and stuff like this as legends go and stuff. A mix of many, many different teams. Guys who helped shape and mold the Premier League down through the years and stuff like that. They always put in a great shift. The match is always great fun, and the meet and greets are always electric. These guys are fantastic to me. All in aid of Blackrock Hospice, of course. Profits going to Blackrock Hospice in memory of Stephen Kelly, of course. If you need any information, hit me up. It's out there on Facebook. The tickets are on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. You can hit me up or Tony Brown or Mark Hogan, whatever you want. We will be there on the day representing the podcast. We'll be interviewing you fans to get your thoughts. We'll be covering the meet and greet. We'll cover the match. Full day of it. It's going to be absolutely electric. So make sure you come along, give it your full support. And it's a snip, folks. It's a snip. When you see what people are paying at the moment to meet individual players at meet and greets in Dublin City at the moment, it's insane what you're getting for this. Absolutely insane. And for a great cause and a great memory in memory of Stephen.
And don't forget, we've been at a couple of these previously. So, you know, we've also seen how good these guys are. Yeah. Like, they're very, very accommodating, shall we say. When there's a conversation to be had with a child or to get something signed or to take a... They're really, really nice lads. They go out of their way to make it a good day for all involved. And I think that's important, you know?
Yeah, lads, Jermaine Beckford at the last one missed the bus back to the hotel because he was taking pictures and signing autographs with fans. Had to get a lift back. So
you know what I mean? So that's, exactly. Yeah. That's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely, Keith. Check it out. I did a short on it earlier and all. It's so frustrating with this guy at times, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the info there for you there, folks, and that and all. If you need any more info, hit me up. We know what it's for. Right, let's get into Premier League. We got the run in, we got the relegation battle, we got a lot going on. There's a big matches this weekend in the top 5 race as well, which is now confirmed. Let's kick it off. Brentford Fulham.
In Brentford and Fulham. Yeah, I suppose I expect a little better from Fulham last weekend. Did you?
They were poor, weren't they?
I thought they were poor. Yeah, I did. I have to say, I thought they were a little bit poor. And generally,
I thought he picked the wrong starting lineup. I don't know how you started Anfield against Liverpool with no Jimenez starting and no Smith Rowe. Very strange.
There was a couple of issues. Now, listen, it was also off the back of the international break, so maybe there was a couple of bits going on there as well. There was a couple of funny teams we saw. I know even when I saw my own team, I went, strange one. You know, so there was a little bit of that. Brentford were very unlucky last week. They conceded a 93rd or 94th minute equaliser to Everton. And probably did enough to win the game. Everton managed to nick something late on, but I think this weekend, I know it's a derby. I know it's even a local enough derby, but I can't see past Brentford. I think Brentford at home this weekend gets the job done, and I'm going to go 3-1 Brentford.
Nice. Leeds United versus Wolves. Leeds on the back of a big win on Monday night against yourselves.
Did they win? I don't. Listen, I have my own issues with Monday night. Obviously, I look in my own backyard first. I thought we weren't great. I thought we were a little bit off the pace and stuff like that. We gave up too much possession. We let them in behind us and stuff like that. It was difficult. I thought the referee was absolutely appalling from start to finish.
Yeah.
But there wasn't enough in it to maybe make the difference. I thought Leeds were full value for their win. I thought they were excellent on the night. I thought Daniel Farke got his tactics very, very good. They were excellent. And I thought they showed the kind of energy and enthusiasm that a team that's fighting relegation should be shown. And if I look at them,
you were better actually. You were better when you went down to 10 men actually.
Yeah,
almost. Mad,
exactly. So there was a bit of that, and really, really good. So yeah, I would expect they'll kick on this weekend. I think they're very close to being safe, and I think now you'll see them relax and maybe score a couple of goals and stuff like that. I think they'll beat Wolves. I know Wolves have picked up a few results recently, but I think last weekend, obviously West Ham pumping them. I think Wolves could be in for a tough day at the office again this weekend. I'm going to go Leeds 2-0.
Newcastle Bournemouth. Eddie Howe under serious pressure at the moment at Newcastle, isn't
he? Yeah, because I have to be honest, I thought Newcastle would get something last weekend, and they didn't. And they were poor, and Palace put them to the sword. I think obviously on the back of it and Downey Iraola news, it's going to be a tough day for them for Newcastle, because I think Bournemouth are going to be up for this. I think they're very much going to put in a shift for this guy between now and the end of the season, because I think they will have enjoyed it, and they'll be sad that it's nearly over and stuff like that. And I think every game they'll go out and they'll run through a brick wall for this lad, because they've done it. They're 12 unbeaten at the minute, Bournemouth, flying form, and I expect them to put in a real good display at the weekend, and I think they'll get something. I'm going to go 2-2 in that game.
Yeah, what do you make of Iraola going? Is he going to exit the Premier League? Is he going back to Europe? There was talk he might go home to Bilbao kind of thing and all. And what's your general thinking on at the moment?
I got to be honest, I think his stock is far too high to go to Bilbao. I do. I think his stock is really high.
Yeah.
And
we're not really talking about an old man here, you know what I mean? This is not a man who's been managing for 30 years or something, you know what I mean?
I do have a theory on it. I kind of think I might have an idea where he's going, and I think people are probably going to think it's a stretch, but I think he's Madrid bound. I think he's Real Madrid bound. I really do. I think his stock is much, much higher than, Athletic Bilbao. And I think he's done a great job at Bournemouth. I think Real would look at this and say, young manager, has the ability to be the guy here for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. We have quite a young squad, a youthful squad, and this could be the guy to get the best out of it, considering what he's done maybe at Bournemouth with a similar squad. And I think he's going to Real.
Think the players would buy into it? When you know what's unfolding there, and if you seen last night, the absolute fucking shithousery and crap that was going on with those players. Now I don't know how you felt about the Camavinga situation and stuff like that, but if you even seen the players, did you see them in the press pathway and the reaction of them and stuff like that? These are spoiled fuckers. You know what I mean?
They are, absolutely, and I think there's a sea change needed there as well. Unfortunately, I don't think Arbeloa is the guy. And I think the issue was there's a lot of guys there that need the arm around the shoulder and they need to feel love. And I think he's the guy that can give that.
There's a lot of lads there need to build up the bollocks as well, to be fair.
Well, you see, this is the thing. I don't think you're going to get anywhere with some of these lads with giving them a kick in the hole. Because some lads are a kick in the hole and some lads are an arm around the shoulder, and you have to know what you're dealing with. And I think there's an awful lot at Madrid there that want the arm around the shoulder. And I think that's probably why Carlo Ancelotti did so well there. He wasn't a guy to get out on top of the players, to call them out. He was always a very protective guy. He always created a good atmosphere and stuff like that. Let them breathe. Let them have their thoughts about themselves and stuff like that. Didn't try and get in their way, and did a great job. I think he's going to Madrid. I really do. I'll be shocked. I read he was going to Crystal Palace, and I just went, hold the phone. Crystal Palace, listen, you're great. You're great. But fuck me. Why would Andoni Iraola leave Bournemouth to go to Crystal Palace? What would you do?
Let's argue from this point of view. You wouldn't raise your stock that much to move. Let's, for argument's sake, move sideways. For argument's sake, you're gonna want to step up, aren't you? You're gonna want to. You've done what you've done now with those players, with Bournemouth and all this other stuff. Now it's time to step up and really test yourself. You know?
Yeah, now
And I
here's
think
the only thing, right? And we know, obviously, there's football on at the minute, and Crystal Palace are 4-2 up on aggregate against Fiorentina, so they're about to find themselves in a Conference League semi-final. Yeah, they'll probably be in there with Strasbourg and maybe Rayo Vallecano and possibly Shakhtar Donetsk. Yeah,
great chance of winning.
Crystal Palace could win this the same way West Ham did, the same way Spurs did. You know, it's not beyond these teams winning this. And I suppose when you look at the competition on the whole, isn't this why this competition was created? So you can have a West Ham win their first European trophy. So Spurs
and you look
can
at Palace
win,
as well. They've only put silverware in the trophy cabinet as well. Palace, you know.
Yeah, and listen, we know that's down to Oliver Glasner. You know, he's the star of the show there. Very, very much so from my point of view. I think, you know, maybe going to Palace if they have Champions League football, or if they have more Europa or Europa League. So they could have Europa League football. Maybe he fancies that. So there is, you're not leaving the UK and whatever. But I'd be shocked if he doesn't end up at Real. I think he's Real down. I really do. Because I look at Real and I go, who else getting the kick? Who else are you giving it to?
Yeah, Jerry,
You know?
I don't think a Champions League final package for £1,500 is scandalous at all.
No, I think it's great value actually. Get me and let me know, because I will.
Yeah, I now listen. It depends whether your team is in it and not and stuff like that, and what's in the package and stuff like that. But look what people.
If somebody offered you a Champions League final ticket and package for 15 brick, if Liverpool were in it, would you take it?
100%. I'm paying.
100%.
They wanted £500 this week for the PSG game at Anfield. What are you talking about? It's all relative.
100%. You know? Yeah, no, I agree.
Iraola, Man United, Darren. Would you take him? Fancy him? I know you've been a big fan of him. And Glasner.
I certainly wouldn't have an issue with it. Would it be my first choice? Probably not. I said this a long, long time ago, and I'm going to reiterate it, because I obviously came into our WhatsApp group and I told you two things probably 4 months ago. I said Michael Carrick's getting the job as the interim, and I said when we get to the summer,
I seen the report. I seen the report today.
Yeah.
You see the report today?
No, I didn't.
The report today on who you spoke about, that apparently talks in the background have begun.
Right, with one of the
United Stand reported on it today. You know.
We have this in black and white from 4 months ago. I told you it was going to be Carrick, and I said it's either going to be Nagelsmann or Oliver Glasner. It was going to be a German-speaking coach, and I said this like however long ago. Amber got fucked out of the building, and I fully believe that. So, do I think he's on the way to Old Trafford? I would be surprised if he was. Would I be set against it? Absolutely not. I wouldn't, but he wouldn't be top of my list. But I think he'll do a great job.
Yeah, I think there was talk of that, and I think it was shot down as far as I know. What about your favourite podcast, Becoming Stick to United?
Isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it funny when you know? I heard Real were thinking about Klopp. I heard it was thinking about fucking Jennifer Lopez, but it ain't happening. So what's the fucking difference? You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't have thought so. Yeah.
No.
What did you go? Newcastle, Bournemouth, 2-2, was it?
2-2.
2-2. Tottenham, Brighton, massive game,
and for me, it's a bad matchup again for Spurs. I think Brighton have started to look a lot more like Brighton over the last few weeks. They were obviously they'd ups and downs over the course of the season. Weren't the consistent kind of side that they had been, but in recent weeks have started to pick up a little bit of traction, couple of wins and stuff like that. And a good day out last weekend against Burnley. I think this has Brighton written all over it, and I'm like sweating for Spurs. I'm sweating for Spurs. Really am on the thoughts of it.
Interesting. What are you going? You going for Brighton, are you?
I'm going De Zerbi against his old team as well.
Yeah. Probably a draw. What do you think?
Go Brighton 2-1.
Brighton 2-1. And then, of course, the evening game, Chelsea versus Man U. Is this a top 5 eliminator, do you feel? How do you feel about this one?
No, it's certainly not an eliminator. It's too early for that.
Not for you. Not for you, but...
No, well, I mean, like, I think if you look at the league table, if you look at the league table, I thought we had a Friday night game. We don't, obviously. United have 55, Chelsea have 48. If United were to beat Chelsea, there's a 10-point gap. Now we're in third. There's only a 4-point gap to Liverpool. However, if Liverpool were to win their game against Everton, right, then again there's another gap. You could see Brentford overtake Chelsea. Now here's the only thing I will say. I don't know if I think we'd be happy here to take a draw and mosey back to Old Trafford.
Yeah, I think any points you can pick up now at this stage and stuff like that is really, really important. So long as you're not losing, I think in that kind of situation, because the likelihood is the other teams around you potentially will drop points as well. Like so, yeah. But yeah, should be a good game though. Should be a good game, and lots of talk coming out of Chelsea now.
It's always a very eventful game. It's always end to end with goals, and well, listen, they're gonna have heaven and Euro. I'm gonna wax lyrical about Lenny Euro. I think he's been awesome for us. I really do. I think he's a 19-year-old centre back playing in the Premier League, yeah, or 20, whatever he is,
wearing a very heavy jersey.
And I think he's been phenomenal. I think he's clever. I think he's good on the ball. I think he's quick. He's athletic. He makes phenomenal tackles. But there's very little I don't like about him. The only thing I think he lacks at times is a little bit of experience. But I suppose you can't get experience if you don't play games. So he's building that all the time as he's going along. He's 20 years of age. He won't even be 21 until November. So it's miles away. Like 20-year-old centre-backs, lads, you got to remember, there's very few centre-backs playing as many games at a club the size of United, at 20 years of age. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, what are you going for in this one? I mean, the other night as well, there was a lot of talk about Carrick as well, that maybe with Mainu being out, maybe Bruno should have dropped back into the 8, shore up the midfield a little bit, and then Buemo should have probably started. Now, again, obviously, Carrick's looking at the boys, and there's obviously reasons and stuff and all, so.
Well, listen, Carrick decided this was going to be a slugfest in the battle, right? Or, sorry, a slugfest in the middle. And he went, there's nobody better to get in there and kick lads than Manuel Ugarte, right? Along with Casemiro, which meant he could have Bruno a little bit higher and let him affect the play. And obviously, he got the assist and stuff like that, so he was right. I think under Amarin, you probably would have seen Fernandes drop in, and you'd have played Ahmad and Bumo and probably Cunha and in behind Sesko and stuff like that. But like I think Carrick knows what he wants, and I think he wants Bruno to be as high up the pitch as he can. Yeah.
I think so. I think they'd find it very hard to come back. There's a lot going on at Chelsea at the moment as well, and what I mean, they're just out place in a number of areas at the moment. What are you predicting here, Chelsea Man U?
I think we might see a score draw.
Score draw.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we'd
Villa
say a score
basically
draw.
now. I think Villa's full time actually. They've gone through 7-1 on aggregate, 4-0 on the night. So Villa absolutely flying at the moment. Yeah, and good to see it. Forest versus Villa Europa League semi final.
Is it really?
Is that how it pans out?
A Midlands derby in the semi final of a European Cup. Wow.
Great to see.
If
Great to see. Right, let's get into Sunday. Merseyside derby, Hill Dixon, Everton versus Liverpool.
Yeah, it does go that way. That's sad, isn't it, that the boys can't meet in the final? You know.
Yeah, it's another one you'd love it as a final, wouldn't you? Because then you're guaranteed a Premier League winner as well.
Yeah, now listen, Freiburg have gone through 6-1 on aggregate. And it looks like Braga are about to knock out Betis. So I think, like, if you're Aston Villa, you got to be looking at this going, we beat Forest over 2 legs, who are fighting for their Premier League survival. And then we've a one-off game against Braga or Freiburg to win a Europa League. But don't forget, we all said that this had happened because we know how Emery works in this competition. He's won this competition quite a number of times with a couple of different teams and stuff like that. So he knows how to get the job done in this.
Did we say as well if Forest win the Europa, do we get 6 spots? Isn't that what we were talking about a month ago?
Is that not if Villa miss out on a Champions League spot or something? There's a weird permutation, I think.
Well, I mean, they've already got top 5 because of the coefficient. I don't think someone drops out. I think this was the scenario they were talking about.
It was no. Well, if Forest won it, yeah, you would get the Forest spot, plus you would get the 5 from the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a spot from the Premier League. It's because the winners get it.
No, but I mean, you'd get 6 teams potentially from the Premier League, assuming Forest don't get relegated.
Teams. You would get 6 teams. Well, even if they get relegated, they're still going in as European champions if they won it, and would still get their spot.
Yeah, but I assume the coefficient wouldn't count in terms of them being in the championship. Maybe then I'm not too sure. Or is the coefficient at a country level?
It's at a country level.
Okay,
yeah,
it's at a country level. Okay, very good. Everton, Liverpool.
Everton have been playing well lately. It'll be interesting to see what version of Liverpool we see, because I think Liverpool are a real Jekyll and Hyde.
Just to correct that, Jerry, that's not the case. If Villa are already in the top, then I don't know what way that works.
So what happens is, if Villa won it, they get their spot from winning the competition. That would mean if Villa finished in the top 5, the place could shuffle to the 6th place team.
6th spot. Yeah.
Yes, and only if Villa wins it.
Yeah.
Because it's the winners of the conference the winners of the Europa League automatically get a spot.
Yeah.
In the Champions League.
Okay.
So
interesting.
You know.
So Everton, Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see which Liverpool team turns up. I think if the Liverpool team, they played last weekend against Fulham, and if they show up, I think you're in with a chance. But I think if it's one of the other performances where they haven't showed up, and again, after what's happened this week, you've obviously seen the injury to Hugo Ekitike was huge. Won't play again this season. Won't play again for a while
as well.
Joe Gomez
injured.
And then obviously with Champions League being off the radar, like this could be a bit of a damp squid for Liverpool the last 5-6 games. So you got to be careful of that. You got to be careful of that. And I think Everton
still got to get that top 5 spot out.
And Everton are just that kind of a team that they want to make it. They want to make it dirty, and they want to get you rolling around. And
bully you. They want to bully you around the pitch, and then you don't fancy it.
Yeah, I like it from them. I really do.
Yeah, it is a massive blow, and especially 100%. When Isaac has looked a pale shadow of the player that we know he is. So, what are you thinking on this one? What did you say there?
I think draw. I think we'll see quite a few draws this weekend.
Okay. Villa, Sunderland.
Villa will obviously be buoyed by tonight's result, getting through to the quarterfinals. Sorry, getting through to the semi-finals of European competition for them will be
Smashing
huge.
goals, eh?
Yeah, and I think they'll really have the fans on their side on Sunday, and they're still looking to secure that Champions League spot. So I fully expect Villa to go out and beat Sunderland here, and I know Sunderland won't make it easy, but I fully expect them to go and get a result. I'm gonna go Villa 2-1.
Forest, Burnley.
Forest. I think tonight will be huge for Forest. And I think at home on Sunday will be huge for Forest. And I think if they pick up 3 big points, all of a sudden, if Spurs have lost, Forest winning is huge. You're also now staring down, okay, we're in a European semi-final and we might be able to keep ourselves safe in the league. And this is just, this is dreamland for Forest.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the big one, City, Arsenal.
Yeah, I think if you're an Arsenal fan, look away now. I think this has City putting in a steamroller of a performance. Something very similar to what we saw in the Carabao Cup a couple of weeks ago.
What do you think has happened to Arsenal over the last, say, since the turn of the year nearly? There's been a certain drop off with them and stuff that they've been winning games, but barely getting wins against, teams you would expect them to at times put to the sword. They've really struggled.
Pressure does to teams, right? This is what pressure does to teams. And I don't like using the phrase, but you've either got the bottle for it or you don't. And unfortunately, I don't know if the Arsenal team don't have the bottle for it, or if Mikel Arteta doesn't have the bottle for it, but one or the other isn't quite right,
What do you make of some of the things he does, like these TikTok videos during the training sessions and stuff like that and all, and some of the interviews recently and all, bring your lunch and your dinner and fucking, you know what I mean? He's nearly putting out these cries every week to the fans as if the fans aren't supporting the team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Kind of thing.
He does strike me as a guy who's losing it a little bit.
Yeah,
he's losing control, and because he's losing control, he's losing everything else. I think that's 100%. That's what I do. Yeah, that's a great call, Jerry, and I wouldn't give you too much plaudits here, but that's a great call. So you have the Jaws team tune playing. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's
surely would have been WrestleMania. You're gonna get a wrestling team, aren't you? Maybe a Triple H time to play the game or something.
Time to play. I was about to say it's time to play the game.
Yeah. It is. They always do because it is WrestleMania weekend, so they'll definitely be doing it. Spurs could do it a bit. Spurs do it as well. They play a lot of the wrestling teams when they're coming out.
How amazing would it be? Yeah. You're in the tunnel on Sunday. City on one side, Arsenal on the other. And the City captain looks across and you just hear dun 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 dun.
Can you imagine?
Dun, dun. Oh man alive.
So speaking of Jaws, Lauren's in Universal Studios in LA at the moment and they still have the Jaws ride and all. She was sending us videos. Because it's gone out of Florida.
Is it right?
Yeah. What are you going on this one? Nothing but the big blue shark.
Yeah, the big blue shark, the big blue elephant in the room that we're all trying to fucking avoid. Yeah, listen, I'm all right with this. Like, I really am. I think the Arsenal fans, not all of them, some of them, not all of them, have built a rod for their own back recently, and I wouldn't be too unhappy to see Manchester City win a league title and to heap some more misery on some of those Arsenal fans. And I don't like saying that because there's some good Arsenal guys, but there's some real bad Arsenal fans out there, man. As fans go, they're horrific. Oh my God.
Dirty's going deep. He's going in with the Terminator teams and everything and all.
Yeah.
For Holland, imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine. So you're going with City anyway, are you? Yeah.
I'm going with City. Yeah. Go City 3-1.
3-1. Palace, West Ham.
I think Palace will be out on their feet with the amount of football they played recently. And obviously tonight will be a huge night, getting over the line against Fiorentina and stuff. But I think come Sunday, this is West Ham keeping the train on the tracks and getting a win. I'm going to go West Ham away at Palace.
Yeah, you'd imagine Palace would be more focusing on their European journey at the moment.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, that's so. That. So now we're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to move into WWE WrestleMania 42 coming at us this weekend. Darren and me don't talk enough about wrestling on camera.
Do we think they might add another match here to try and even it up with 7 each? I think we might get that.
I'm not too sure. And the reason I'm not too sure is I think the ladder match is going to take a bit of time on night 2.
Yeah, but I think the Fatal 4-Way will as well, and I think you might get it. You might get a match made on the Saturday night that's wrestled on the Sunday, and that's how they leveled it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I read today actually that the plan at the moment is not for Io and Asuka to have a match at the moment. That's what I read today. I also read today as well. I read this evening actually that Randy Orton's in pain at the moment, carrying an injury, and it might be a doubt 2 days out.
Wow, imagine that.
They may have to pivot real quick. Something there, so no.
Wow.
I don't even know where they would go if they take Randy out of that.
Gunther.
What you do with Rollinson? Unless you go Rollins, Gunther, and Rhodes triple threat or something, or
unless you go and have Braun come and put paid to Seth or something like that, and then Gunther going over, and then Orton not being able to wrestle, and then Rhodes, then Gunther saying, Orton can't wrestle, I'll take you on tomorrow night, Cody, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, run us down through the card, what you like, what's going to happen, what your predictions are, and how you felt about it. For me, it's one of the most stacked WrestleManias I've ever seen. And I think they have an opportunity here to make it one of the best WrestleManias ever, to be honest. It's phenomenal.
I would agree. And I think looking at what we've seen over the last few years and what we've lost from the building, and I'm going back a little bit further, you look at a Triple H, a Shawn Michaels, you look at an Undertaker, you look at an AJ Styles, you look at these guys, Cena, who we've, lost, Edge gone the other direction, Jericho not involved. This is a new era of wrestling. Very much a new era of wrestling, and I think we're going to see some big steps towards changing of the guard. So I won't be shocked to see a lot of title changes. I won't be shocked to see a lot of guys being projected as the next big thing, the superstar, the guy, and stuff like that. Like when I look at it, there's very little I don't love. I love Fatu and Drew. I love Rollins, Gunther. I love AJ and Becky, Rhodes, Orton, Vaquer and Morgan. I'm okay with the women's tag champs. I'm okay with the 4-way. I think it's a nice way of getting 8 decent wrestlers into a match. I don't love the 6-man tag. I think it's a bit weird. I'm like, I get the I Show Speed thing, but I'm also like, we've got 2 shit wrestlers in Logan Paul and Theory, right, against the Usos, are 2 of the best tag teams, one of the best tag teams of all time, right? And LA Knight, who's also a big star, and then you've got I Show Speed coming in alongside these lads, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work. This is obviously the Usos and LA Knight going over for me.
See Jey Uso attacking your man on the podcast. See the clips today?
No, didn't see it yet.
He was on something podcast. Can't remember the name of it. And your man was throwing shade at him. saying, how come I'm dealing with these Saturday night WrestleMania guys and all this? Throwing shit through the show. Jey Uso jumps up, goes across the counter at him, drags him over the counter, start boxing the head at him.
Haven't seen any of it yet. I'll have a little look later.
Yeah.
I think the Usos will go over there. I fully expect. I would love that, Bren, but here's my only problem. I'll do very well to be up for this. And as much as WrestleMania would excite me, I can't keep my eyes out past about fucking 11:30, man. So
you get about 3 matches in, don't you? Then you
and
start
like, good dunk, you know.
Yeah.
Now what I will do, and this happens fairly regularly, is I'll be up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, rewatching it from the start, and I'll have it all, and I won't touch the phone, so I don't know, and but just I struggle at times, man. I really do. Between work and the kids and stuff like that,
Acers sound surprised here that a Stephanie McMahon title belt would cost $1,100. Why are you shocked?
However, we do know a guy.
We do know a guy. We know a couple of guys, but we know a new guy.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. Acers, we know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is I think Fatu goes over here against Drew McIntyre. I think Fatu goes over, and I think we probably see the projection of Fatu now into the main event after beating Drew. I think that's how he gets to the main event picture.
I mentioned last night in the wrestling show that this could be a show stealer for night one. Fatu and Drew.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because they're two very, very gifted athletes and stuff like that. And they put on really good
Drew always shows up as well, doesn't he, for the big shows? Drew's always phenomenal at the big shows.
He does.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Fatu there. So it'll be Usos and Fatu. The one here that I kind of struggle with is Stephanie and Liv. And I suppose I think Stephanie's been phenomenal. I think she's been amazing. But I don't know if she's the guy, let's say. Do you know what I mean? And I expect them to put the belt on Liv here.
Yeah. I think Liv Morgan. I'm a huge Liv Morgan fan. I think she's sensational.
I don't think Stephanie's done that wrong. I just think this is the right time.
Yeah.
And I think with a lot of this, timing is everything. And I think we'll go Liv Morgan there.
The thing about this is, if this goes the right way, it can raise Stephanie's stock greatly as well on a WrestleMania stage. Of
course.
Yeah.
And Stephanie's at her first WrestleMania here. Which is huge.
Yeah, and in a big spotlight match as well. Yeah.
And she's gone from being NXT champion to being world champion and being involved in the WrestleMania very, very quickly. So she's a lot of time left, Stephanie Vicker.
And up against a Liv Morgan, who actually feels a bit like a veteran nearly at this stage, doesn't she?
Very much so. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Rhodes Orton, listen, I think it probably depends on the condition of Orton.
Yeah.
I think if Orton is fit and able, I think we'll see a change. But I think
how would you feel about it? How would you feel? How have you felt about the Pat McAfee stuff and all? We briefly spoke about it offline, didn't we?
Yeah, did it need it? Probably not. I love Pat McAfee. I love him. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a guy that just gets it and stuff like that. And I really like McAfee. Do I think he needed to go in here? Probably not. I think it's.
Do you reckon it's an angle for something bigger? Do you reckon it could be an angle for a Rock or something like that, or because it is kind of weird that it's Pat McAfee, isn't it? When you think about what the build-up was to this whole phone call and stuff like that, and all,
I don't know, but here's what I would say, right? This is the only thing I have at the back of my mind. Don't be surprised if this is the Cody heel turn and Pat McAfee is actually in his corner. and he has been aligned with Orton to save Cody and end up pairing himself with Cody as a heel duo and keep Orton as a face.
Well, certainly if he's going into the match and potentially he is in pain or has an injury or something, you would think that would be the sensible creative switch, wouldn't you? Because obviously Orton is going to have to go off then or something like that. Acers is thinking a Ted DiBiase return. He is at WrestleCon Ted Jr. So he will be in
and he's
town.
Also free of
the charges and everything else.
A lot
the
of stuff that's followed them around for the last number of years. So yeah, 100%, absolutely. Does he get involved? I don't know. Legacy, it's a strange one. Does Ted come out with Cody to even the numbers against McAfee?
Would half the audience even remember Legacy? That's the problem.
Possibly not. I mean? And looking at the pictures of Ted, I'm not sure he's in, what we would say, is ring condition at the minute.
Yeah.
Put on a couple of pounds, I think.
Just one or two. You do when you're under that stressful situation. You do resort to food.
Well, I'm certainly not throwing any shade at this gentleman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's two ways it can go, Cody and Orton, and it just depends. Don't be shocked to see the Cody heel turn with McAfee ending up as the Cody.
Well, I think on both nights we're going to get something that we don't expect. They always swerve us one way or another. The obvious isn't sometimes always the obvious, you know. Yeah, AJ
100%.
Becky.
Think
How have you felt about AJ coming back? How have you felt about AJ coming back?
I think it's difficult to get any traction because of how part-time she is. You know, very good.
Yeah.
Very good,
That's the talk.
Very good, yeah. Yeah, now again, that'll obviously depend on the injury and whatever, and maybe it ends up being Pat McAfee and Cody versus Orton and Jelly Roll, who have tagged already, you know, and that's how we, it switches up like that. I think it's been difficult to get behind, not to get behind, but to build anything with AJ, just because, there 1 week, not there for 2, and not really wrestling any matches other than on the big pay-per-views, and so it's tough to get behind that. Really, I think they give up to Becky here. I got to be honest. I think Becky's taking it back and going to bring it back into the forefront and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. Rollins Gunther. It's had a short kind of build-up and stuff like that, and has come together. I mean, obviously there was talk of Gunther versus Ray in a kind of a retirement angle, this career killer kind of thing, but that obviously didn't flesh out. Ray was injured and only came back into the forefront about a week or two ago in terms of the ladder match. So Rollins and Gunther's been kind of thrown together. How do you see this? Is this a breaker opportunity here? Is this Gunther and breaker maybe at the end of this match? Do we see Gunther going into the Vision maybe?
No, I don't think I see him going into the Vision. I don't think it works. But I do think we might see breaker. I do think maybe Rollins is going to be close to the win, and Breaker will come out and get involved, and Gunther will get out. He'll get the win. I think Gunther beats Rollins, and I think that'll be when Heyman is kind of like, now we're even kind of thing. Are
we getting a group of these hoodie guys coming out during the match or something, and one of them just happens to be Breaker?
Well, it might be just one hoodie. It might just be one hoodie, not a group, but it might be the one hoodie, and when the hood comes up, it's Breaker. That's what I kind of expect.
We'll know by the hoodie. Guy's built like a tank.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not hiding him under a hoodie. Let's be honest here.
No, that's true.
That's probably, I think, what will happen.
And then the fatal four-way. Naturally, you'd want the girls to retain, I'd imagine. We are fans of them.
It has to be. It has to be the legitimising of these girls. They've only gone together. They look phenomenal. They're going to have an opportunity to roll with this and build the two of them into, something very, very big. So this should be carry on as you will, and
the huge talk is the Bellas, don't you? You do know that the huge talk is the Bellas getting them.
Yeah, but that would be an absolute travesty. Like, I mean,
the chat will be very happy with you saying that.
Oh my God, that would just be the most painful thing to see. And that will actually be, if that happens, that will certainly be a low light of WrestleMania for me, not a highlight. I think.
Would you be concerned about the crowd dropping down so much? It'd be hard to nearly get it back up on something like that in the middle of the card.
It depends. It depends. I know the
Mm.
Bellas will have a bit of support, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
think I think people would prefer to see them being absolutely buried by our pal Shaka Khan and fucking Nia Jax, you know.
Absolutely.
But that's the way I'd go.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that. I don't think it'd be a
No, I
toilet
wouldn't.
break, but
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
no, but it'll certainly be interesting. Let's go into night 2 then.
Yeah.
Obviously, a match we're very excited for: Femi versus Brock Lesnar. Is Brock gonna do the job here? Is Brock gonna or is he gonna swerve us?
No, we're getting Alba winning here. 100%.
This is one of these ones you talk about projecting someone.
This is it. This is the time. This is the moment.
His promo on Monday. His promo on Monday was real good. But you know what I did like? No 40 arms, no 40 arms, no donut necklace. Just I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you.
But you're like, this lad, this kid he's money,
this
man.
What did you make of the interaction with Paul Heyman as well? Could we have a kind of like a swervy kind of thing like Rollins at Mania last year? Could we go in with Heyman and Brock and leave with Brock and Alba? Heyman's telling the story that Brock is now going off to retire and all. I need a new guy. I need a new beast. Because he did say at the end of the promo, if you want to get in touch, ring me or whatever it was, you know?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is straight. I think he beats Brock Lesnar and we have people in the front row the way the streak was broken. I think that's what happens. I think this is Alba Femi's streak moment.
I'd love to see Alba Femi as a heel with Paul Heyman.
I think there'd be some faces in the front row if Alba decided to strip as well, by the way.
Acers, you know me better than that. Alba Femi's t-shirt is not completely sold out. Let's not be silly here now. Let's not be silly here now by saying silly things like that now. You're going for an Alba Femi win here and strong.
I'm going Alba Femi strong. Like, I think you're going to think I've been on the fucking laughing gas or something. I think there's a possibility it's a squash.
Well, we know Lesnar just likes getting out of town at Mania. He doesn't like being around wrestlers. He doesn't like hanging out in the building. He doesn't like any of that, you know what I mean? Remember Rollins and him at 35? I'm going out now, Vince, or I'm the fuck out of here.
I think it could be a squash. Which, like, if we see Brock Lesnar get squashed at WrestleMania, like, this is...
Does it carry the same credibility as a proper match? Like, if he beats Brock in a kind of a Brock Angle Mania 19 match, and he comes out of that, is that not much better than Brock just lying on his ass from kind of thing?
Well, here's the thing, right? Do we expect it to be a back and forth, power, up, down, over? We expect that, right?
Yeah.
So if that's what we expect, and they make it a squash, everyone goes, what the fuck have I just seen there? Did I just see Brock Lesnar lose in 90 seconds? Did that just...
I'd be disappointed in that. I'd like them to tell a bit of a story.
I would like them to as well, but I don't think it's beyond them. I don't think that kind of fuckery is beyond them, you know?
Because remember what that Angle match did for Brock back then at 19? Wow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and
match. Even though we nearly had that broken neck thing and all, but my God. Unbelievable. How excited are you for that match back on the WrestleMania stage again? It was missed, wasn't it?
Very excited. Yeah, I'm a huge ladder match fan. Very excited to see this. The only issue I have, I don't necessarily think that the 6 we need in it. Do you know, like, I don't really think.
Let us know, Bonkers. Does that include entrances? 8 minutes.
I don't really think. Yeah, 7 of them being always. I don't think it's the right makeup of guys for in there.
What do you not like about the makeup?
Well, the first thing is I don't like 3 lads in masks. Like, it's fucking overkill. I was literally only waiting on them to add Ray Phoenix as well so we could play Who's the Mexican. Like, do you know what I mean?
And a few of the Los Americanos.
A couple of, like, here's 4 lads in masks, and actually there's gonna be a lot of lads.
They were
floating
going to
around
do the
pubs
mask
outside you,
versus
so
mask match, and then they pushed it off for AAA. Like so, so
yeah, like
they
just
were going to do it.
crazy, just absolutely crazy. Like, I don't think we need that. I think this is a bad match for Rey Mysterio to be getting into at his stage of the career. He does not need to be involved in this.
Does it feel like he crowbarred himself in because he didn't want to know about the Gunther situation?
Very much so. Very much so. Now, really looking forward.
How excited are you about JD and Javon Evans, though? I mean, they're going to do some serious stuff, aren't they, in there?
Yeah, they are. They are. And here's the thing: we know what JD is. JD is insane. He is insane. We know how good he is from his days in OTT and stuff like that as well. And he's phenomenal. He's had some bangers in WWE as well. I expect JD to play a big part. I think Penta, big part. Dragon Lee and Javon Evans. I think the big issue is Ray and Rusev are just 2 square pegs and 2 round holes here for me. This should have been younger guys, given opportunities and stuff like that. And I think, that they've just kind of shoehorned Mysterio and Rusev hadn't been seen on telly in 5 weeks, and all of a sudden he's in a ladder match for a championship, and you're like, look what's going on here. Are we just, I thought it was poor. I thought it was real poor. And I am going for Penta to retain.
That's what I was thinking. That's right. And it makes Penta's been electric since he came in, hasn't he?
Electric.
Been phenomenal.
Yeah, he's super.
And we're now beginning to see the personality behind the mask as well now with the promos and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is really, really
100%.
cool to see as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I hope they don't go the route of this being kind of Ray's last WrestleMania maybe, and let's give it the,
Let's not do that.
They do it. They do it. I'm just saying.
Talking about one Mysterio and going to another. The Demon entrance at WrestleMania. The only issue I have is, and I agree wholeheartedly with what he said, don't fucking tell everybody. Make it a surprise. Don't. Oh, we're gonna see the Demon. Oh, is he making an appearance? They're
under such pressure, ticket sales. This is on its ass at the moment. They're under such pressure to push tickets out the door in any way, shape, or form they can. Yeah.
I do get it, but also there's got to be the element of surprise in there somewhere, Listen, I think this is Balor. I think this is Balor all over, and I think the Demon wins at WrestleMania. Thankfully,
Do you think it might link in with night 1 and night 2, that they might drop a few belters on night 1 and people might decide if they're indifferent and haven't gone in the Vegas area, maybe doing watch-alongs or whatever it is, they might look at it and go, I need to get a ticket for night 2. And do you think that the strength of night 1 could create that wave into night 2 where they push through another 10,000 tickets or whatever it is,
I don't think you're getting another 10,000 through, but I do, I think if night 1's a banger, you might end up with a few people going, let's get there. Maybe 4,000 or 5,000. I don't think you'll get 10.
Yeah. Because you're at around the 40 mark each on each night, kind of. So you're kind of like, you're 36,000 short on each night, like as of last week when I looked at it.
Yeah. Now again, it's WrestleMania week, so that's going to change slightly, and obviously with the tickets and the 25% off, whatever, these stadiums could look very empty. Like this could look like a fucking AEW taping, and that's a huge worry if I'm WWE.
I could be up in the corner on my own in the 400s with the upper tier, so I'm just going, hiya guys, just up there on my own. Let's see.
Absolutely.
Ted's not happy with AEW and Darby Allin. Spike Dudley to return and win the title.
He's there. Spike Dudley is there, and I know he's there because he's doing
he's at WrestleCon.
He's involved in it.
He's at WrestleCon with the boys.
He's with the boys because he's working for Rob Feinstein at it. So yeah, would the
second best Dudley behind Dave?
Would a Dudley picture, 3 Dudleys? Would that work for you?
No.
Or
they turned them down last year. They tried to gouge No, they tried to gouge me last year at WrestleCon. I walked away from nearly had to stand up row with them. Ask Dino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't walk up to a desk that says 60 quid an autograph or 100 for the chill and try to charge me 200 for a Funko Pop. That ain't happening. I went down to the good Mike Chioda, who refereed Hogan versus Rocket 18. I got a lovely referee shirt signed by that man and an 8x10. And we had a chat about podcasting and everything. And we spoke about WrestleMania 18 for about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, up in the corner, then is trying to charge me double the price because I want to get a Funko Pop signed that I bought in Ireland and carried from Ireland all the way to Vegas and had to walk away.
Yeah, that's bang out of order.
Don't get me started on those guys. Fuck those. Keep your fucking busted open.
Yeah.
Sammy and Trick. Don't do me door. Oh no, sorry. You want Balor and Dom? What are you thinking? Yeah.
No, listen. Balor wins. This is the demon all night long.
Spike. Sammy and Trick. You're not gonna let me down here now, are you? Don't let me down here now. This is Trick Williams, isn't it?
This is Trick Williams and the Lemon Pepper Steppers. This is 100%. This is another one of those moments. You know, this is a Jacob Fatu. This is an Oba Femi. This is a Trick Williams. This is the new age of WWE.
This where Trick comes out back. It was supposed to be on him and puts it on his own back. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm interested to see what you think on this one, Jade and Rhea. Is this the one where it might not go the way everyone thinks it might go? What you're thinking?
Everyone thinks it's going to be Rhea Ripley, right? And I think Jade retains.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
I thought you might go that way.
I don't think they're finished with Jade just yet. I think she's actually only starting to heat up a little bit. And I think now's the wrong time. And I think these lads know that the face has to chase. And I think Rhea chases at the SummerSlam.
And Jade will have the numbers on the night, I'd imagine.
Absolutely.
So it'll be a numbers game, really, isn't
it? And if
it's
a thing that the stadium ain't full, you ain't getting Rhea Ripley going over because they'll hold it for SummerSlam and they'll jam the place out in Minneapolis. She's already on the billboard.
Ted, sorry, the head of IWC has said Trick can't be winning because H is a racist.
Jesus.
Oh my God. Right, let's talk the big one. Punk versus Roman Reigns. How have you felt about the build-up?
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. I think it's been excellent. Now, I only think there's one winner here.
What did you make of Monday's promo about the reason I hate you and about how you've had the fans? And
Yeah. Listen, it was clever. It was really clever because it's not something we maybe saw coming. You know, you expected them to say A, B, C, and D, but you didn't expect them to say that. And I like that.
Isn't it mad that with the build-up that we've had where they've been knocking shit out of each other at times, and then the go-home one is the one where they have a heart-to-heart in the ring and they don't lay a glove. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. But for me, there's only one OTC, baby. There is only... It's almost like I knew you had that on.
Yeah. Don't know how you would have guessed that.
And the matching shorts.
True. And you ain't getting it for $9.99.
No, listen, I think this is Reigns.
Seeing that one in the car today as well, it was insane.
I haven't seen a stitch. I'll be looking forward to it now in a few minutes, but
it's good.
I think this is Reigns. I think he takes the title back, and I think, you know, we possibly end up seeing him drop it to one of the new bigger boys, you know.
Interesting. Could be looking at Reigns over Femi.
Could be looking at Reigns and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, nice. I like the sound of that. I like sound. There's a lot of
Absolutely.
options there, I have to say. But yeah, so that's Darren's preview for WrestleMania and his thoughts and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. We'll see how it all pans out. Don't forget, folks, a massive week for the channel as well. I'm heading off to Vegas in the morning, 9:30 flight, so you won't get me for most of the day. But the boys are going to be lashing up shorts and videos and everything else.
Drop you up a sandwich to the terminal or anything, or are you all right?
Nah, I'm all good. I'm all a bit early for you to be.
You have to get your passport
that,
stamped crossing the Liffey as well before you go through the pre-fucking clearance and all that, yeah? No,
I'm okay. Border control and all that. Border control and all that. No, it should be fine. But folks, give them your full support to watch along on both nights as well. I'll be jumping in and out to watch along live from the stadium as well. And I will be insufferable when Trick Williams batters Sami Zayn. Make no mistake about that. And amongst others as well. I will be here to drink the Cody's tears from the Cody crybabies as well if it happens. So yeah,
have you got your comfort tracksuit for the plane and all sorted? Yeah.
No, that's not me. You know that's not me. No. But I do have my tablet charged up. I do have my Netflix downloaded, and I do have my phone all loaded with stuff and everything. So for me,
it'll be watching.
It'll be a nice, relaxing, enjoyable flight. I downloaded Stephanie and Triple H's podcast. I haven't watched it yet, so that's in there. I downloaded a couple of other bits like Gold Rush and stuff like that, and a few other things. I have the Shawn Michaels documentary that came out.
And do we know what's on the menu?
The Heartbreak Kid. No idea. Won't matter to me. I've got a carry bag over there. I've got joint strawberries, Haribo, Reasons, Milk Duds. I've got all that good stuff.
Enough to keep you
so if the menu isn't what it should be.
What do you got? You 10.5 hours?
Yeah, well, it's. I think it's about 8.5. I think to Dallas or whatever it is, and then from Dallas it's about 2.5 to
you have to change,
Vegas,
have you?
Because of the time change. Yeah, we're going through Dallas. Yeah, going through Dallas.
And American Airways both ones?
Not too bad. Yeah.
Right, so
American Airways all the way both times. Yeah, all four.
Tried
to gouge me today. You know, if you wanted to sit together today,
yeah,
they were looking for nearly $400 for the flights in total if we want to sit together.
So is that not happening anymore?
I can think of a lot of Dusty Rhodes Coliseum figures and Heart Foundation Coliseum figures in Walmart or Target that I can buy with $400.
So are we?
No thanks.
Sitting separately on the plane?
See, we're kind of beside each other. We're one back from each other, kind of thing. Like she's just in front of me or there, but I know we'll find a lovely person there who will give us the gouges for $100 each, and we'll buy them a drink on the plane if they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're talking 4 flights, remember?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, gougers they are.
Gougers. Plenty of them.
Was that the promo about the gas prices and the farmers blocking the road? There we go. How many dry bread rolls did you have packed? I have no dry bread rolls packed, that's for sure. If you know me, Ted, you know I don't go in for dry rolls or anything like that, as you know. So make sure, folks, if you could subscribe to the channel.
Juicy burgers and chips.
Juicy burgers and chips. Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, if the grease ain't running down the chin,
provided it's on the menu today.
Yeah, we have to have a word with them, don't we? They let us down today. Yeah.
Right.
So, folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video as well. There's going to be loads of content up. I'll be punching content in there from Las Vegas as well. As you know, anywhere I go, I will drop videos and shorts and everything else. Ted's in one last comment. When I went to Mania, I moved 4 times so people could sit together. So hopefully you get somebody sound like me. Might have been the deodorant you were using, Ted, wasn't it?
Ted, not the
Yeah, I'm not talking about WrestleMania now. he means on the plane, of course. Amazing stuff, lads. Daz, you should 100% come on the Pro Wrestling Weekly one. Of the week. Class show.
100%.
He'd love to come on. It's always just fun.
I would love to. It's all, 100%. Yeah, horrible fuckers, Phil. Horrible fuckers.
In a word, Phil, they're gougers. There you go. Right, folks, talk to you real soon. Catch you on the other side. I'll be in Vegas. This time tomorrow, you will see me in Vegas. I will be going to Walmart or Target, making videos of little pickups that I find and all that kind of stuff. We will have some fun with that. Talk to you soon, folks.